Okay, so we've got Mason's dad's pickup truck. Some of the bits I've took off it: turbo intercooler, alternator pulley, some belts. Don't look that old. Okay, we eventually got the bottom pulley off. That was quite tough to get off. This is the cam belt cover. You shouldn't be able to get your fingers in here. That should all be plastic. So we say to ourselves, what's caused that? It became quite evident once we took it off. There's the cam belt, and at the moment that's the camshaft for the cylinder head. Move down one, that's the diesel pump. Move down another one, well, that's the roller. It's actually the tensioner. We move down here, and this little thing here is the plate that runs through the sensor, which is there, runs through that sensor there. And we'll take that plate off, I can show you how it works. The plate itself, it's got some gaps, and as the engine is fixed by this little woodruff key that goes in there, and as this plate spins with the engine, it goes through this magnetic sensor there, just through that little gap just there, and what it does is it counts the short one, the long one, the short one and the really long one, and from those marks going through that sensor, which is effectively a magnet, it then knows where top dead center is, and then it can fire off the injection pump in the right time. So when we took the cover off, we wanted to know why it was also worn, and if we pull this out, that is a snapped balance shaft belt, and here we can see there's no belt on there, there's no belt on there, there's not been a belt on there for a long time, that's actually gone, rusty, and there's no belt down here. And what that belt does, it's called a balance shaft belt. It evens out vibrations in the engine, makes it smooth. So what's happened is this belt has come off. If we look down here, you can see all the broken bits of belt. They've gone through that sensor and actually knackered the sensor. Now the timing marks for this engine, let's see if we can get a decent picture for you. Okay, so we've got a little groove in the pulley there, where my finger is, and a groove and a pointer there, and as you can see they line up quite well. So that's it, top dead centre on the bottom. If we come over to here, we've got a point on the end of the camshaft. Follow that along, goes to that pointer there, that also lines up. But what doesn't line up is the pointer for the timing pump. See if we can focus this camera. There we go. The pointer for the timing pump is right there. So if we follow that tooth back, at the end of that tooth should be a dot or a groove. There's not, but if we come down one, we can see there is. So the diesel pump timing is out by a tooth. What I suspect has happened is this belt is actually quite slack. Is some of this old belt has got jammed up in here and caused it to slip a tooth. So all we can do is put a new crankshaft sensor on it, a new cam belt kit, line the balance shaft belt back up, get that back on, and then try and start it and see what happens. So let's get some bits organised.